The Puerto Rican culture is part of my art. My people are of Spanish, African, and Taíno Indian descent. I grew up with Spanish, spoken with an African cadence and rhythm, a Catholic African spiritism, troubadours singing improvised decimas, the vibrant colors of a Caribbean island, and the sea always enticing me to the world beyond. These are my roots, and they show up in my art. Since I was young, I have seen the world around me as forms and colors. This fascinated me, and I would get so fixated that I was always running into things. My mother worried and thought there was something wrong with me. My father, who was a dock worker with a 6th grade education, would make Vilagente carnival masks, religious icons, and kites. He let me work alongside him and encouraged my artistic and curious nature. We were poor, so I made kites and then sold them to get art materials. Throughout my development, I had teachers who took interest in and guided my work, technically, aesthetically, and philosophically. This was important because art was not generally encouraged in my community. When I was accepted at the Visual Arts School in Miguel Po, my family tried to persuade me to go to technical school so I could get a job. I stayed with art because it was the only way I was able to translate the world around me, the human exchange, the struggle of existence, into a meaningful form. Later, when I studied philosophy at the Catholic University, I understood that art is a form of communication that translates and creates meaning, not only individually, but also culturally and historically. I returned to the Visual Arts School of Miguel Po, my alma mater, as administrator and teacher. Because we had limited resources, we were forced to go to the environment for our art materials. From this necessity, we developed a philosophical and practical awareness and appreciation of nature. We were able to develop the school as part of the community and the community as part of the school. I was able to integrate teaching and doing my art as complementary expressions. When I left the Miguel Po School, I crossed the sea to New York, the art center of the Americas. It was curiosity, the desire to learn, and a quest for the art that enticed me. I spoke no English. I had $500 in my pocket, my art portfolio in my hand, and the address of a friend in the barrio. With time, I adjusted to the cultural change, learned to deal with racism, and found a community of other artists with whom to share and work. During my period in New York, I had the honor to work at the printmaking workshop of Robert Blackburn and to engage and interchange with third world artists from throughout the United States and Latin America. I began to understand the changes that were coming from the outside to my island homeland. What I saw in the streets, the wealth, the poverty, the hustle of the city, came out in my art as abstract, allegorical expressionism. Moving to Wisconsin has been another cultural as well as educational experience. The cornfields beyond the city, the open-faced honesty of Midwesterners, the intellectual and academic atmosphere of the university have posed another world to myself and my art. After being out of school for 5 years, doing my art in the street or on the wall of a one-room flat, the university has been both a challenge and a privilege. The study of art history has given me an historical perspective and curiosity. Time, encouragement, and experimentation in printmaking, painting, and computer art have added new dimensions to my work. I've been afforded a brief trip to Greece, Yugoslavia, and Italy, which has expanded my international orientation and added new understanding to my cultural and historical roots as an artist. I understand my art as part of a historical process. I have a commitment to the different social contexts and international circumstances in which I live. This understanding and commitment does not limit, but rather allows for freedom, evolution, creativity, and more substantial expression. As such, my art is a personal, social, and political statement generated from experiences and shared as an experience. My goal is to develop professionally, artistically, and culturally. I want to teach, work on my art, and participate in community art programs. Eventually, I want to return to southern Puerto Rico to develop a community workshop and share my experience with the young artists of my island. I expect to be engaged with the art until the end of my life.
His art says we shall overcome too. And I think that is why we are all excited by what we see here, because we see his art and we see ourselves in it.
Taught to measure her worth in another's happiness, denied the validity of her labor, an embarrassment to her sisters who negotiate the war from a class of privileged learning that affords analysis, compartmentalize pain, hiding from feeling, knowing yet not understanding the whys of yet another mutilated woman body, sister not me, afraid of the proximity of the battlefront, afraid of the weakness, afraid of the pain that throbs always beneath the anger. Caught in the anger, reacting to that which perpetuates, forgetting to remember who be the enemy, power for whom, to what, who profits. Woman's spirit, mind talking comrades, touching each other's souls, transforming the blood into war paint, transforming the nature of war, creating together anew.
There's one theme that comes up sharply in the paintings that I see, and I'll speak to the implications of the paintings rather than to any sort of specific kind of analysis of them. And that is the question of art and the question of the way in which our societies, I'm from the Caribbean, get characterized. And I think what is very striking about these paintings is the way that they celebrate the possibility of the peoples and the societies from which I come from. And at the same time, they fly in the face of the common sense of social theories and political theories that have constituted our people as, I think, extensions of the regulation of imperial powers. That is to say, sociology of whatever kind coming out of the developed world has found a way of characterizing us as not being able to act, as not being able to speak. These paintings, these drawings, this poetry that I've just heard is a statement about the possibility of human actors who have been historically subordinated in languages coming out of developed countries. I want to see that as the central meaning, since meaning is an important thing that Diogenes emphasizes, and I think that's the kind of meaning that the paintings and my being here and everyone being here ought to think about. Thanks very much.